Good afternoon everyone and welcome to Delta T Racing. This is a different race for us, 12 o'clock on a Sunday. It's actually our first effort into the Esports League. So we're kindly enough today we have NLR have invited us for a race against them. So it's a 5v5 and very excited to have you here. So representing us today, as in us, DTR, we have Shabby, Black Mamba, Brent, Peter Vole and Bruma. So they are our esports team for this week. They've been practicing hard. We're very much looking forward to seeing how they get on. Obviously looking here, we've got a wet qualifying, so that will shake. Good afternoon and welcome to DTR. This is it's slightly different for us, at 12 o'clock on a Sunday. We've actually entered into the Esports leagues. It's not actually a league as such, this is just a friendly, but we're delighted today that NLR have invited us to have a race with them. As you can see, it's a 5v5 race, so obviously 5 from NLR and 5 from DTR. Representing us today, us being DTR, we have a Peter Vole, Shabby, Brent, Bruma and Black Mamba. And representing NLR we have Patuka, Lucky Lars, Kavudi, Abzi and Geroff. I hope the pronunciations there are correct. Okay, so there is just a little graphic up showing our entrance for today. Obviously, as you can see, we've got a wet qualification here, so it's going to be very difficult to see who's going to be the quicker driver as such, obviously, unless the race itself is going to be wet. So we'll have to wait and see with that. But at the moment, let's see who we have where. Obviously, with the black and yellow colours, doesn't actually help me pick out anyone that well. So let's see who we have on a hot lap. We'll follow Brent for a bit. I say Brent, a very quick driver in DTR. We'll see how he gets on in his first lap for DTR Esports. See, obviously very slippy out there at the moment. A severe lack of rubber out there, obviously with the water as well washing it away. As you can see there, the black and gold livery of DTR, that's the one that we'll be using forward throughout any of our races against other leagues, which we're hoping in the long run that we can actually set up an interleague league as such, where we would race them on a regular basis and have a league table just to see where everybody stands. Have a bit of fun between different leagues. There seems to be quite a lot of interest. It's just getting it organised. But today, as I say, to have our first one, and we're very pleased and excited to be here. Following through with Brent at the moment into sector 3, into the start-finish line. Okay, Bruma set a 1:41.9. And Brent must have invalidated there. So let's see who we have behind. We've got Abzi coming across, who puts in a 1:42.2. Then next to cross the line will be Lucky Lars. Comes round, he's invalidated his lap, so we'll have a look who we have next. So we have Shabby now coming onto the start finishing line. Let's see what lap Shabby can put in. Oh, 1:41.4, so top of the timesheet by half a second there. Get in there, Shabby. Okay, so we've got a few setting times now. It's there's apologies for the jolting here. I'm struggling to find out which driver is which. Unfortunately, on the map we've got green and black, so it doesn't really help me out there. Should be a bit easier in the race, but obviously in qualifying it's difficult to pick them up. So Geroff has put in 1:41.7 there, so still 0.3 behind Shabby, who's put in a fantastic opening lap there. Peter Vole 42.2. Let's see who we have coming across the start finishing line. We've got Patuka, a 1:43.4. Right, let's follow Black Mamba for a bit. He's invalidated, so we won't. Shabby's invalidated. Geroff looks like he's on a maybe not a slow down lap. Thing is with the wets is you can obviously put them on, fill up a bit of fuel, go out, do 5-6 laps, get a feel for it, and hopefully it's not messing with your race tyres. So it'll be interesting to see if the race is wet or dry. Time will tell with that, but I can see some good racing no matter what. I say we're top drivers here. We've got pretty much the top 5 drivers of each of the leagues are taking part in this. Very quick and very good drivers, so fingers crossed we will see some good racing. So here we follow him with Geroff at the moment, coming back in onto the start finishing line, currently on a 1:41.7 in third. We'll see what he can do on this lap. 1:41.6, so improves in time but not in position. Okay, looks like we've got a yellow there. We have a spinner on the start finishing line. Maybe not. There we do. Black Mamba's out. I did think someone had. So we've got Patuka and Bruma very close in qualifying. It's we're not in the race yet, lads, but they seem to be asserting their dominance on one another there. It's nice and clean. So Mamba unfortunately out, hasn't set a lap time, so he'll be starting in 10th position. And Kavudi's out as well. Seems we have a spate of spins here, so I think it's either the curbs or people getting a little bit too confident in the wet, and unfortunately it's just not ready yet. So round you go. If you're lucky you miss the wall. If you're unlucky you can watch the rest of qualifying from your warm dry pit garage. So following across, who do we have? Peter Vole goes into pole provisional pole with a 1:41.4, so certainly getting a bit more confident on the track now. Shabby 1:41.0 takes another 0.4 off of his fastest lap, so seems the track is getting slightly drier, or the tyres are just coming up to temperature, and obviously people are feeling more confident on them, so fingers crossed. Geroff is still going round a 1:41.6. I don't think he improved on his time there. Let's see who else we've got coming round the corner. We've got Brent now. He's on a 1:42.7 in 7th. Let's see if he can improve and work his way up the leaderboard. He doesn't. Who else do we have on a lap at the moment? Absy there with a 1:42.0 across the line. Now trying to find the next person is going to be Lucky Lars, will be the next person to cross the start-finish line. See if he can improve his time in a 1:43.9. We are approaching the line now. Lucky Lars does improve to a 1:42.9, but moves him up one position. We'll see who else is on a fast lap at the moment. Shabby into the pits, Broomer in the pits, Peter Vole in the pits. Okay, so everyone coming in, putting some fresh tyres on. Looks like some are going for the inters, so obviously the track is drying up enough that they feel that they can get enough grip out of the inters. Be interesting in the last 7 minutes just to see whether that's the right choice. Okay, so out on track at the moment we've got Brent, who's coming towards the end of a lap. Not sure if he's on a flyer. A little bit of a back end wobble there. So he's coming into the pits. Okay, so next on track's Absy. Coming into the final 2 turns now. He's backed off, so he's going on to a flyer this lap, so obviously eased off for that one. Okay, so let's have a little ride around with Broomer at the moment. Okay, so Broomer onto the Mistral straight. Okay, up to the chicane here, which is so much time to be lost and made in that chicane in the dry. Obviously the wet, it's even more imperative that you get your braking point correct. We'll ride with Broomer for a bit and see if he's on his fast lap with his nice rainbow stripes there on the inside of the halo. So there we are, Broomer coming into the last section now round Bender at the moment, and then into turn 13, into turn 14, then just turn 15 and start finish line. We'll see if he can improve on his 1:41.8, obviously his first lap out on the inters. So here we go on to his fast lap. See, he seemed quite confident on the inters, so I do think that there is going to be enough grip there. So down into a tricky section of turns 3, 4, 5 and 6. Through camp. And then we'll be back onto the Mistral straight after turn 7 here. Mistral straight obviously used to go the complete length of the back straight, but recent times they've introduced the chicane just to try and reduce the speed, I believe, at the end of what used to be the full Mistral straight for safety. So I believe some events still have it, but in Formula 1 we now have this chicane halfway through. Here we are, into turn 10. So it looks like a tidy lap so far. Here we are into the final section, so around 12. Actually 13 is not really a corner, just a bend. 14, which is Lack. Into 15, which is Pont corner, and we'll see what kind of time he actually puts on the board with his inters. A 1:39.9, so definitely ready, definitely inters a tyre of choice. Okay, so we're now going to run on line with Peter Vole. Again, coming into the final corner punt onto the start-finish line. We'll see what Peter can improve his time to. So currently a 1:41.4. 1:39.5, nearly 2 seconds quicker. Great lap there by Petter. Okay, so who's going to be next across the finishing line? Looks like Shabby's coming into the final sector, into the last corner. Start finish line, we'll see what Shabby can do with a 1:41.0 currently. 1:39.0. A big improvement there for Shabby. Okay, Garoff coming across the line, 1:41.6 is his time. He's going to improve that to a 1:39.3, puts him into second. Good lap there by Garoff. And then Patuka will be the next to cross the finishing line. Currently in fifth with a 40.0. Obviously going to improve on that now. What's he going to do? He didn't improve on it. I believe he might have been on an outlap or invalidated and I missed that. We have Brent improves to a 39.1. That's a good lap by Brent. So currently the DTR boys doing well. First, second, fourth and fifth. Obviously Black Mamba, the exception, had an unfortunate incident. But it happens in the wet. I'm sure he'll move his way forward during the race. So Lucky Lars now coming on start finishing line on his out lap. Next to do a lap, it's going to be Shabby if he's on another flyer. And there with his saying on his halo, first you have to finish, saying by Michael Schumacher, which is to finish first you have to finish. Shabby onto the start finish line, see if he can improve on his 1:39.0. So it's a fantastic lap so far. 1:38.4. Some of these times I would be proud of in the dry. Garoff now coming across the line, 1:39.4 is his time, puts him 1:38.3. So the track's now getting quicker and quicker. So it really is going to be who's going to come across the line last. So we're now with Patuka coming into the start finishing line. So Patuka 1:40.0 goes to a 1:39.3, puts him currently into fifth. We've got Brent now coming across onto the start finishing line, currently in fourth. 39.1. He goes to a 38.8 up into third place. So a good final lap there. Absi coming in, let's see if he can improve. 1:42.0. Absi goes to a 1:38.493. So it does seem to be that they're improving hand over fist. As Lucky Last there's invalidated. We have Shabby. I think Shabby's on a last flyer. It's going to be his last effort. Obviously time's now run out. So this will be his last chance to claim pole position. So 1.5 tenths currently behind Garoff. And a 1:37.9. First man into the 1:37s. So, but Garoff behind him looks like he's on a lap as well. So can he snatch pole back from Shabby in the final seconds of qualifying? He can't, so Shabby takes pole position. Patuka is the only man left that can do anything about that at the moment as they're coming into turn 15 punt onto the start finish straight. We'll see what he has up his sleeve here. 1:39.3. And he did improve, but it was not onto pole position. So Shabby takes pole position in DTR Esports maiden venture. So congratulations to him. So looking quickly at the grid, we have Shabby for DTR in pole position, Garoff and Absi second and third for NLR Racing. Then fourth and fifth, Brent and Bruma for DTR. In sixth place we have Patuka for NLR Racing. Pettervol in 7th for DTR. Then Kavudi and Lucky Lars take positions 8 and 9 for NLR Racing, and Black Mamba at the back there, unable to set a time. Unfortunate incident on the wets, but it happens. He can, if anybody can make up positions from the back, then he certainly can. So there we are. There's our top 10, and we're looking forward to the race now. So it looks like a dry race looking at the weather there, so we'll just wait for the drivers to sort their setups out. So we'll take another look at our team there. Obviously team drivers, we have Shabby, who's also our team manager. He's organised this very well to get the teams together, some very fast drivers. And then Black Mamba, DTR Brent, Pettervol and Bruma. So that's our team for today. So we'll look forward to you cheering very loudly during the race, cheering them on. Hopefully we can get a good result today. Okay, so here we are on the formation lap. So let's get the stream ready. So Shabby there leading the way on the formation laps. Got himself quite a big gap at the moment. Seems to be Garoff and Absi have dropped back a bit, but should pick that up down the back straight. So Absi in 3rd there, DTR Brent currently in 4th. So it's also interesting, just have a look. We've got Shabby on the mediums, starting on the mediums. Garoff on the mediums. Absi's actually gone for the softs as well, so he'll be quite quick at the start there. Brent looks like he's gone for the mediums, as has Bruma. Batuka, not sure if that's the mediums or the hards there. I'll have a look as he gets a bit closer. He's gone for the hard, so he'll be looking at a long first stint. Pettervol's gone for the mediums as well, as has Kavudi, Lucky Lars and Mamba. So we've got a small mixture, majority on hards. We've got one on softs and majority on mediums, sorry, one on hards and one on softs. So it's split the strategy slightly. So here we are as we're making our way now around turn 12. And Shabby getting as much heat as he can into his tyres there. So everybody just getting as much warmth as they can into their tyres and the brakes, ready for the run down to turn 1, which can be an eventful corner, but then most corners are eventful in Formula 1 league racing for one reason or another. So here we are. And we are go. Slight delay there with the lights. Okay, so go down to the first corner. It looks like Garoff has made a good start there. He's taken the inside of Shabby, but Shabby's not giving up. He's holding there on the inside, a couple going wide at the back there. So it looks like Lucky Lars and Black Mamba having a bit of a tangle up at the back there. So, but at the front, Shabby has regained the lead. And behind him we have Absi and Garoff. DTR Brent currently in 4th position. Pettervol in 4th, up 2 positions. Bruma down a position. We have Lucky Lars has made a couple of positions up at the back. Kavadi is staying where he is. So we have a Pettervol and Bruma there. Okay. So a good start. We've Abzi got a good drive out of the chicane there and has taken Shabby here, but Shabby's not one to lie down and let a position go, but he'll wait for the ideal opportunity, which was nearly up the inside there. Bit of movement at the back. We've got two teammates changing position, Cavadi and Lucky Lars. And Mamba there taking the shallower line and getting the position up the inside. So a good move there by Mamba. So now going on to the start-finishing line. We have Abzi, closely followed by Shabby. Behind Shabby we have Geroff. We then have DTR, Brent, Pedavol, Bruma. And there's a move. Look there, Bruma and Cavudi. Looks like Cavudi's gone wide there, come back on track. Good hard racing so far. Probably giving each other room and respect. So, need to be expected from drivers of this ability, to be fair with you. And we have Lucky Lars in the pits already. Very early pit stop there. I did miss whether he had any damage. Okay, so Abzi still leads the way with Shabby just behind him. Now with a second gap over Geroff in third position, who's got Brent and Peter Vole very close behind him. We'll just get the tyres up so we know who is on what at the moment. But yeah, it seems to be single file at the moment. I'm sure it's not going to stay that way. Plus we've obviously got the pit stop strategies going to come into it as well. Could be some team tactics. It's a good thing about a 5v5 is you've got 4 teammates rather than just one. So you really have got people there to help you if you do need it. Also, they can be a hindrance. But at DTR, we're a good team, so I would expect them all to work together should they need to. Okay, so Abzi seems quite comfortable out in front at the moment, with Shabby just under a second behind, so he'll be in the DRS. We'll see whether DRS this lap he has. So interesting now with DRS activated, we could see some moves. Brent very close behind Geroff there. It's just getting just close enough that you can go for the move. It's not one of the easiest tracks to overtake on, despite the large straight. Opportunities are very limited. You either need to line up a really good run out, or late on the brakes does work, but obviously you've got to have faith on your fellow driver that they're going to understand exactly what you're doing. So Mamba there unfortunately picking up a penalty, multiple warnings for corner cutting. Very easy to do here at France. So Abzi now half a second, just under half a second ahead of Shabby. Obviously the soft tyres now, I think they've probably had the best of their lifespan over the opening couple of laps, so it's going to even up a bit now. Shabby very good on the mediums. They just keep it Abzi within sight. He'll get a good run on the DRS on this lap. We'll see if he uses his ERS as well to get past. So there we go, he's dumping his ERS to start. ERS, DRS. And there we go, up the inside Shabby. Just use the overspeed from the ERS and DRS, and nice tight clean line. And retakes the lead, so Abzi now down into second position. Geroff still sitting there in third, but he really does have Brent and Pedavol very, very close behind him. So some good battles going on. Yellow flag, looks like lucky strike Lucky Lars is out, so doesn't look like it was his lucky day today, unfortunately. Can't actually see what happened, but looks like he's got out at the start of the Mistral Straight. So whether he's taken a bit of too much curb in turn 7 or got on the throttle a bit too early. But unfortunately that's the first retirement is for NLR Lucky Lars, so it's now a 5v4. Okay, and the car's been cleared away now in sector 2, so there won't be any virtual safety car. Kavudi's picked up a 3-second time penalty there for multiple warnings as well. So that'll obviously negate the lead that he's got over Broomer at the moment and brings Black Mamba back into it. Here we are, Absy just behind. Doesn't seem to be using his ERS. I think he's just quite comfortable to sit behind at the moment and try and take those soft tyres as far as he can. Have Garoff and Brent having a little bit of a battle there. So Brent getting past Garoff up into 3rd. And now Peter Vol right on the back of Garoff as well, so we'll see if he can get past. Brent looked like he struggled for a bit of traction there and slowed up, so that's obviously given Peter a chance, and there he is up the inside. Okay, a teeny bit of contact there, but nothing untoward. And Peter Vol up into 4th. So all in all, DTR are doing quite well so far in 1st, 3rd, 4th, 7th and 8th. Looking back at the front, Absy keeping Shabby just within arm's distance, so he's not allowing him to escape too much. Broomer having a nice battle with Cavardi. We've also got Black Mamba just behind him there. I do like these helicopter shots. So yeah, at the moment we seem to have a two-way battle for the lead. And then we've got a 3-way battle for 3rd place. And then another 3-way battle for 6th place. So we've got some nice little battles developing. Put a Vol there. Looks like he's overtaking Brent. Looks like that was a bit of team, not team orders, but a team decision there. It's good to see them working together. Garoff there is just literally behind them as well, sort of just over half a second back. I think he's just waiting to see if any of them make a mistake, or just quite happy sitting there, and if you're not losing any time. And just behind him now, Cavardi's 1.3. With Broomer and Mamba directly behind. So Patuka a further 1.6 out, 1.7 out, but he could close that up still. Run on with Shabby for a moment as they lead in the Grand Prix. Pole position. And does seem to have the pace on the mediums. If you're looking, he's over 3 seconds clear of the next medium runner. Obviously Absy's going to need to pit soon to get rid of those softs, so he's doing well to take him this far, obviously with qualifying as well. But I'm sure he's feeling the degradation on those tyres at the moment. So behind, we're getting in a position, we're getting 6 cars starting to close up now, and potentially with a 7th behind. So it's none of these are really making a break. Peter Vol's got, I say, just half a second on Brent. Garoff's literally 3/4 of a second behind. Kavudi's now brought the gap down from 1.4, 1.5 down to 1.1. So these trains are definitely closing up. Pit strategy is going to be quite important, I would have thought, back here to give you a chance to gain a couple of places, but I'm not sure how powerful the undercut is here. But it's whether you take a gamble and go in a little bit early, make up some positions. Though passing is possible here, it's just not easy unless you get a good ride, a good run, so you do need the tyres underneath you. Okay, so Brent now has Gerov right on his gearbox. So we'll be interested to see if Gerov goes for a move here. He's using his ERS, DRS, obviously Brent has the same. He goes defensive. Well defended there by Brent. Let's see if he's compromised his run onto the second straight here. No, it's very well defended by Brent. So just keeping Gerov behind him there. I mean, Gerov, could he get, if he got past, I think he does have a bit more pace, whether it's just he's more comfortable on the tyres. But Brent doing a good job of keeping him behind him there. Okay, so Absi now dropping a little bit further back on Shabby. Obviously closing up there with the DRS. But those 8-lap-old softs must be asking to be changed soon. Okay, so Peter Vole in third, just over 4 seconds back. Brent closing in on him now. We're just 0.8 behind, so he's within DRS, ERS. We've got Gerov as well. Looks like he's going to go for a move up the inside. Okay, he kind of pulled out of that one a bit, which was good. Okay, Absi at the front. I'm not sure if he made a slight mistake there, but now nearly 2 seconds behind Shabby. So is it either a mistake or his tyres have completely gone. Be interesting to see if he comes into the pits at the end of this lap. Yeah, he does indeed. So that will promote Peter Vole up into third place, into second place, should I say. So currently with the pit stops, we will be looking at a DTR 123. So Shabby now with a 6.5 second gap. And just of all take it slightly easy, but be interesting to see what tyres Absi comes out on there. He's come out onto the mediums, so be taking those to the end with no problem at all. Okay, so just following with Brent at the moment. So Peter Vole just in front. Got some good battling going on here with Gerov and Kavudi. Gerov and Brent. Kavudi literally just behind, Bruma just behind him, Black Mamba just behind him. They've got some nice, exciting potential for excitement coming on here. So Gerov there looks desperate to get past Brent. Racing here, so we've got Gerov and Kavudi and then Mamba and Bruma behind, exchanging positions there. I think they're working on the toe to try and pull themselves in. So look at and we have Kavudi there is spun off. Obviously a little bit too much curb coming round there on turn 2. So that drops him back, but that promotes Bruma and Black Mamba up. So obviously from a DTR point of view, this is great to see so far. Obviously taking positions 1, 2, 3, 5 and 6. Still a long way to go though, so I can't imagine it's going to stay that way. But Giroff now coming under a lot of pressure from Brent. In fact, Giroff got past Brent. I completely missed that looking at the spin at the back there. Okay, so Shabby currently out front with a 7-second lead on Peter Vol, who's now coming under a slight bit of pressure from Giroff. And Bruma there picking up a 3-second time penalty, just went slightly wide on turn 2 there. And Patuka in third. And we've got a couple of gaps opening up towards the back here now. Brent's now into the pits, gone for the hards, so 15 laps on the hards to the end. Absolutely fine. It's a shame he couldn't eke it out a bit more and go on to the softs, but if your tyres are gone, your tyres are gone. The sensible thing is to put fresh rubber on, which he has done. So we now have Giroff, who is closing up on the back of Peter Vol. I did say earlier that Giroff looked like he had some more pace when he was caught behind Bruma. But catching is one thing, getting past is something completely different, and I'm sure Peter Vol's not going to make it easy for Giroff to get past. So Brent there picking up a 3-second time penalty. I think he's trying to get those hards up to temperature, and really struggling to make the corner a little bit for the next couple of laps, just to get a temperature into them, and then he'll be fine after that. So we have Shabby into the pits, and Shabby's coming to put the hards on as well. That'll be interesting to see where Shabby rejoins. He'll rejoin in a 6th position, because behind him we've got Black Mamba, who's also pitted, and Kavudi has pitted as well. So everyone going onto the hards for the final 15 laps. Peter Vol now takes the lead, although he does have his pit stop to make. Giroff literally just behind him, sitting within DRS. We'll see if he gets a decent drive off of here. He's not using his ERS, so it doesn't look like he's going for the overtake here. It'd be interesting to see if the pair of these pit at this lap. We've got a spin. Brent and Kavudi look like they've made some kind of contact there. Is Brent out? Brent's out. Unfortunately, I'm not sure what happened there. But it looks like Kavudi and Brent have had some kind of incident, and unfortunately it's ended with Brent crashing out of the race. So we are now four drivers each left in the race, with Lucky Lars obviously going out early on, and then Brent now just retiring, unfortunately. So Peter Vol making his pit stop there. He's going to come out just in front of Mamba, so he's lost a bit of time to Shabby in front of him. But Shabby now closing up on Abzi for 4th place. So Abzi with 4 lap old mediums, the Shabby with fresh hards. Here we are with Shabby. Closing in, got it to within half a second, so I can see him going for the move in a lap or two. So it's all changed at the moment with Gurov out in the front, in the lead at the moment. He's a 13 lap old medium, so obviously still needs to pit. Behind him we have Bruma for DTR, about just under 6 seconds behind, again on 13 lap old medium, so he will again be looking at pitting soon. So Gurov now comes into the pits. We'll see if Bruma follows Brollet. Bruma has decided to carry on for a lap. Same with Pataka. So now it'll be interesting to see where Abzi and Shabby get out compared to Gurov. Gurov also going on to the hards. So Shabby is past. Will Pedavol jump him as well? It's going to be close. I don't think he's going to make it. Oh, very close. Just makes it. So Pedavol gets back past Gurov you. So the undercut proving to be slightly more beneficial on time. Obviously a lap on the fresh tyres definitely helps as well, but I think the undercut is certainly giving some time back here. So Bruma now leading. Obviously our official leader really is going to be Abzi with 5 lap old mediums. Shabby behind just with 2 laps on his hards. I think he'll be able to close Abzi down. Obviously later in the race the mediums are going to really start to struggle, whereas the hards will still have a lot of grip, but I'm not sure Shabby wants to wait that long. Kavudi with another 3-second time penalty. He's gone onto the softs. And Shabby easily passed Abzi there. Good move, Shabby. So Shabby back into what would really be the race lead. We have Bruma. Patuka's pitted. Bruma is carrying on. So another lap on those. So 15 laps on those mediums. Shabby now up into second. Abzi in third. Patuka, we'll see where he comes out compared to Peter Vole. I think Peter Vole will get past him. He does indeed. Will Mamba get past him? He does as well. So Patuka drops down into 7th place. Kavadi there having a bit of a struggle. Looks like he's nearly a lap down. But Bruma now leading. So still with that pit stop to make, but I think he's trying to push it out and go onto softs. And Mamba there picking up a 3-second time penalty. So Pedavol and Gurov here look like they're going to have a bit of a battle. Gurov actually picks up a 3-second penalty there. So that gives a little bit of comfort to Petter in front, knowing that the car behind still got 3 seconds to gain on you. But penalties can be the making or breaking of you in this game. It's always advisable to keep it as clean as possible. I'm sure everybody would like to, but it's never quite that easy. So it's the closest battle we've got at the moment, other than Abzi, he's keeping Shabby honest. Kavodi with another 3-second penalty there. I'll have a look in a moment to see how the penalties are likely to affect things. Bruma, Shabby and Abzi all very close together now. I can see Bruma letting Shabby through and doing his best to not let Abzi pass very easily. So there we go, there's Shabby now back into the lead that he held before the pit stops. And now we have Abzi and Bruma. It'll be an interesting battle. I'd say Bruma I think will make his car as wide as he possibly can, just to try and give his teammate a chance to get away up the front there. He's gone wide there. Good race, and they gave each other some space there, but I don't think that's what Bruma wanted. He went in a little bit too deep on the corner there, and now decides to pit, which is a sensible thing to do. So Shabby now has into the lead with Absi, a second behind, so he's just managed to break the DTR, the DRS activation. We'll see if he can pull out. Pedavold obviously now up into third with the pits of Bruma. Garoff still behind him. He's certainly not going to give up on this one by the looks of it. Going into Mistral Straight. Garoff there has his DRS and ERS and makes the move easily on Peter. So, but again, if he can stay behind him, it will be his turn on the next lap. He can DRS, ERS activation, and hopefully get past. But good racing. So Absi's still just about a second behind Shabby. We'll see if he can get himself in the DRS. He can't. Nope, so he won't have DRS on this lap. Not got much ERS left either, only 9%. Shabby's not got much left either, so it's it really could come down to the DRS being very, very important. So Pedder dropping back slightly from Garoff at the moment. Could just be taking stock and getting himself ready for an assault on him, but within a second, so he should have DRS. See, he doesn't have DRS. He must have been a second behind at the activation point. It's not going to help much. So at the front, Shabby pulled out about a half a second on that lap. I would think the mediums are now certainly past their best. Won't have lost complete grip, but they're not going to be at their best anymore, whereas Shabby on the hard tyres will find grip a little bit easier to come by. Okay, so looking at team stats at the moment, we have DTR leading the way. In second and third we have NLR, fourth DTR, fifth NLR, sixth and seventh DTR, and in eighth we have NLR. Unfortunately, two retirements, one each, which was Brent and Lucky Lars. So it leaves us 8 in the Grand Prix. At the moment, current leader Shabby, 1.5 seconds ahead of Absi with 8 laps left to go. Garoff sitting in third position, still being chased down by Peter Vole. Seems to have just pulled the gap out ever so slightly, got himself out of DRS, which isn't going to help. And neither of them have a great deal of ERS either, so it's that's not going to help them. Patuka in 5th place here. Seems to be in a bit of a race of his own at the moment. Unfortunately, 7 seconds behind Pedavold and 3 seconds ahead of Bruma. Bruma again in a similar position with Mamba nearly 7 seconds behind, and then Kavudi unfortunately seems to have had a little bit of an incident today and has put himself getting on for a lap behind now, but you still keep going, 8th place, you score some good points. Shabby now 1.6 ahead, so he's just pulling that out ever so slightly each lap. Gerov consolidating himself in 3rd position there. Pedopole still sort of 1.3, so that's gone out a little bit over the last couple of laps, but still nothing that he can't overcome. Okay, so let's go back to the battle at the front. No, not really a battle, because Shabby now pulled the lead out by nearly 2 seconds, so it's very comfortable, but only takes 1 penalty and you can lose everything. Talking of penalties, we have a quick look to see who's got what. Gerov there with 3 seconds worth of penalties, so Pedovol's actually going to leapfrog him anyway if he just stays behind, so that might be the reason why he's just keeping him within his sights rather than going for anything with 6 or 7 laps left. Peter Vole keeping it clean. Obviously Bruma with 3-second penalties, Patuka 6 seconds, Black Mamba 9, and Kavudi with 9 seconds. So it's not really going to affect the 3 at the bottom too much, but it could shake it up a little bit higher up, especially if Shabby or Abzi do happen to pick up a penalty in the last few laps. It's fingers crossed that they don't. Shabby coming into the turn 3, 4, 5 section through Camp and Steborn onto the Mistral Straight. 2.6 seconds, so he's certainly got this race under control for the time being. I never like to speak too soon, especially with the curse of the commentators, but so far we are looking quite good. Everybody else has spaced themselves out ever so slightly, so it's a bit difficult. Kavudi there, obviously getting himself out the way after being lapped. Shabby leading the way. As it stands, it'll be a great result for DTR. Whilst we're talking of DTR, actually, I'd like to give a shout out to DTR Enns and Bogorovsky, the 2 founders of Delta T Racing. They wanted to create a enjoyable racing community that everybody is welcome at, whether it be at a top level or whether you be at a beginner. And I'd just like to congratulate them on the way that they've gone about setting up the forums, the website, the racing, everything. It's been an absolute amazing journey, and it's been fantastic to see their dream come to fruition. So a big shout out to you two. I hope you're well and enjoying the racing today, and we will catch up shortly. Back to the racing. We have Shabby 3 seconds ahead. We have no real close battles that we can discuss at the moment. Absi's been quite solid in 2nd position. Dropped a few places, but there was more down to his pit stop strategy, which seems to have worked at the moment, putting him in a comfortable 2nd place. Garofyu is in 3rd position. Again, nice solid race from him today. Does have that 3-second penalty, but has pulled out nearly 2.5 seconds on Peter Vole now, so 4 laps to go at the end of this one. Peter doesn't want to let that get too much bigger, otherwise obviously he would lose that podium. Bruma just behind him 5th, 10 seconds further back. Then we have Patuka, who's 3.6 behind there, so again, a decent gap there. Black Mamba in 7th, 6.1 seconds behind Patuka, and then Kavudi, as we've mentioned before, hasn't had best of races that he'd have liked. It's when things go wrong, they can go wrong in a big way. So, but he's still going. I say 8th position, so he'll pick up good points for his team. So lap 24. Gone quite quickly this race, actually. There's been some good battles. There's some nice battles for the lead early on. There were some good midfield battles. I think there was one point we had about 6 or 7 cars separated by less than a couple of seconds. So really good to see. Esports, I think, will be hugely successful in the future, and as I said, it would be fantastic to see a lot of other leagues actually entering into a league for sort of sim racing league owners. So DTR against NLR, you know, it brings some others in. It would be lovely to have a league, but I think it's a work in progress. It will take time, but it would be fantastic with the drivers of this ability. Week in, week out, it's going to be a show. But yeah, we'll keep our eyes peeled for that, and obviously if we hear of anything on DTR or know of anything that's set up, you'll be the first to know. Obviously, please make sure you subscribe to all our Twitter, Twitch, TikTok accounts, YouTube as well. It would be a pleasure to have you as a subscriber. Obviously, you would then get up-to-date information as and when it's published as well. So if you haven't already, please go and click a like and click a subscribe. It would be very welcome to have you. Right, so lap 25. We're coming towards the end of this now. Got 2.5 laps left for Shabby, really. Going down the Mistral Straight into turns 10 and then into 11. .8 seconds clear now. Still keeping my eye on Pedavol here. He's keeping it just within 2.4, 2.5 seconds. So as it stands, that will give him a podium. Let's keep our eyes, if he can make up that ground, or at least sustain it is the main thing. But Absy's still going in second, so it's been a solid race from him. No real incidents or dramas. Just gone about his work quite well, as he had a little tussle with Shabby for the lead. But since Shabby got past, obviously the hards and the mediums, there's a big degradation difference. Mediums obviously starting to struggle slightly, and Shabby putting out a 5.6 second gap. Seems very comfortable on those hard tyres. And now on his penultimate lap. Been a great race by Shabby. Hasn't had too much luck in some of these races recently. Unfortunately in Austria he got taken out by a back marker who was rejoining the track after a... Absy there with a 3-second penalty. I don't think that's going to affect anything at the front. But never good to get this late in the race. But yeah, Shabby was unfortunately taken out in Austria by a car rejoining to track. Came in front of him and took him out whilst he was leading, I believe. Also in a few other races I've seen these. Just not had the best of luck, but the pace is absolutely there. He's majestical to watch when he's on it. Makes it look so easy. And very frustrating for us that try and copy what he does and think you've nailed it and you're still 2 seconds slower. So big up to Shabby there. Now 6-second lead onto the final lap. So as we enter the final lap, we've got Shabby in P1 at the moment with a 6-second gap on Absy, who himself has a 6-second gap on Garoff in 3rd place, both for NLR. In 4th we have DTR's Peter Vole, 2.9 seconds, so it's nearly at that 3-second window. He needs to try and keep it under if he wants to snatch that podium. We've got Broomer currently in 5th for DTR. 6th, Patuka for NLR. 7th, Bruma for DTR. And in 8th, we have Kavudi. So we're going to follow round with Shabby on his for the last sector of our first esports race. I have to say it's been very enjoyable to watch. Not the most exciting track at France for racing, but they made the most out of it that they could, and there was some good tight battles at the beginning, and then some after the pit stops as well. But then it spreads out a little bit, which makes it a bit awkward to commentate on, really. So a bit of filling in there, but there we are. Shabby now going round into turn 14 and turn 15 to cross the start-finish line. And Shabby 2K wins the French Grand Prix. Congratulations to Shabby. That's an absolute awesome drive. Didn't put a foot wrong. Absi coming home for a well-deserved second place there. Again, very solid drive for him. Garoff here coming in third. We'll see if Pedavol can jump up, but he doesn't by .081. That's such a shame. But Garoff finishes on the podium, so we have a DTR and 2 NLR on the podium here. In 5th place we have Bruma finishing. We're just behind him, Patuka. In 7th is going to be Mamba. So a good race from Mamba, good solid. So bringing home good points for DTR. Kavudi further back. But we'll watch Mamba coming across the finishing line. And there we go. That is the completion of the Esports French Grand Prix, DTR versus NLR. Driver today, Peter Vole, who had a really good race. Very unlucky not to get a podium in the end, but unfortunately .081 was what robbed him. So it's unfortunate, but there we have it. Looking with Shabby on the podium. So winning the race there for DTR. Congratulations to him. Looked like he had it in control for, I'd say, 95% of the race. And a well-deserved victory for him. But also a big shout out to the NLR drivers as well on the podium. They had a good strong race today. It was I think there were a lot of fair battles. They were fairly equal. It was good to see. As I say, if this is the beginning of the esports venture, then it was a welcome one. It was a pleasure to watch and a pleasure to commentate on. So we'll just wait for the final results to come up. Okay, I'm not sure if the final results are going to come up here or not, but either way, I mean, we obviously saw them cross the line, so from our point of view, it was a fantastic race. Thank you again very much to NLR for inviting us and for the fantastic, clean, fast, enjoyable racing that we got to see. Let's hope that we can do this again very, very shortly. And on behalf of Delta T Racing, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today, and I hope you have an enjoyable rest of your Sunday and enjoy the Italian Grand Prix. On behalf of DTR, we have our ACC League is starting tonight, which will be broadcast live on YouTube from 8 o'clock tonight, so watch out for that. It'd be lovely to have as many subscribers as possible. Also, we'll be back racing on Monday with our Class A at 6 o'clock. We then have Tuesday and Wednesday at 8 o'clock. We have the Class B and C, and our new Class D will be racing on Thursday. If you've ever fancied doing a bit of racing but not sure if you're good enough, Delta T Racing's the place for you. We have a mentor system. We welcome everybody there. We will help you improve, and we welcome you with open arms. So if you want to have a look, it's www.delta-t-racing esports.com, and we would be very, very welcome to see you. So, well, that's it from me. My name was Nellboy. I very much enjoyed today. Thank you all for joining me, and I hope you have a enjoyable rest of your day.